Hello everybody, I'm Liz Peterson, speech-language pathologist with Speech and Voice Enterprises with over 23 years of experience. Today we're going to talk about how to pose your questions in more of a leadership style. Now when we grew up, or if English isn't your first language, we have been taught that when you pose a question, we end it on that upward inflection. Would you like to discuss this over coffee? Do you have any questions? But when it comes to highlighting your leadership image, speaking with more credibility or sounding more commanding, the recommendation for business psychology is to end your question on that lower step. So think of that speech staircase that you have been learning in this series. Instead of going back up the stairs to ask your question, you're going to bring your question down the stairs and end on that lower step. Let's compare. Can you fax this for me, please? Can you fax this for me, please? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Can we discuss this over lunch? Can we discuss this over lunch? Now the language was exactly the same in those examples, but let's look at the differences. When you bring your question up higher on the staircase, you are sending your sound waves away from your optimal pitch range, closer to that nasal cavity, creating tones that are thinner and higher in pitch. Those are not the characteristics associated with leadership. Remember, when it comes to leadership and communication, those who are perceived to be good leaders speak with controlled intonation and from that lower, stronger voice range. So when you bring those questions up, you're leaving this neighborhood and going to this neighborhood. Now, when I teach this to my clients, their initial response is, ooh, I sound like I'm not friendly, or maybe I sound controlling and bossy. That's really not the case. Remember, you are learning a new skill, so when you do it at first, it is going to feel funny and a little stiff. You do need to get used to it so you can bring that flexibility in with your intonation and how you pose your questions. So when you do practice this at first, it is going to feel funny and you may feel that you're not being friendly or sounding kind. Practice this over time, and as you go to meetings and as you find people in the workplace that you feel have good leadership or are good public speakers, notice how they pose their questions. I bet most of the time they're going to end it on that lower step. Now remember, we're looking at this when we want to be perceived as a higher leader. So this is ideal to do in the business setting or leading meetings. When you're out with your friends at a restaurant, certainly you can bring that upward inflection in place. But this is a strategy under business psychology on how to pose questions for that stronger leadership image. All right, give this some practice, give this some time. Thank you for watching another episode of Motivating Mondays. See you next Monday. Bye-bye.